Greetings, comic friends. I got behind on TGIWs because, well, frankly, I got behind on reading. There's a lot of stuff going on. I had this last weekend. I set up a booth at a con, so all my time was kind of going towards getting that ready to go. So I didn't have time to read things from the past, 3 weeks or so, or time to make a video. So I got some catch up to do. So we're getting 3 weeks of comics all in one TGIW. Thank God it is Wednesday. I don't know if these are in the right order of them coming out. It looks like they might be close-ish, but I don't know. I don't remember when what came out. Some of them, I did read a while ago. I just didn't get through all of them to make a video, but it is what it is. So Batman White Knight presents Generation Joker. This is book 5. I don't know what else I can say about this book. This is a lot of fun. I love my alternate universes, alternate future realities, all that stuff. And all the White Knight stuff has been absolutely fantastic. Something is Killing the Children, number 33. A thought crossed my mind. I'm enjoying this book. I would have a hard time dropping it, being now 33, maybe 34. I don't know if there's another one in here or not. Issues in. I do still get some enjoyment out of it, but I'm sitting on the full run, and I'm starting to think that maybe it's time to go to trades with this. I feel that this would read a lot better in trade form, and if I can, sell my run and get rid of some of those variants and stuff like that, I might be okay with that. I'd probably go back and buy the trades up to that point, just so I do have it, complete. And I'd end up pretty well ahead if I did that. So that is something that I'm considering. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. I mean, I know Something is Killing the Children isn't as hot as it was at one point, but I mean, I could still get a decent amount for those early issues, I think. And my number 1 is graded a 9.8. I think my number maybe like 1 up through maybe 3 or something is graded as a 9.8. I don't quite recall, but I don't know. Like it's one of those books where, yeah, I enjoy it, but I don't know if I need that, that number 1 that has, it's probably sitting around with $700 or something. I don't love the book that much. I'd rather have maybe that $700 put towards something else. So I got to think about that. I very rarely sell anything from my personal collection. So it's not an easy thing for me to do, but I'm on the fence on that one. Strange Academy Moon Knight. So I think this is part 2. Yeah, part 2 is Solve for X. This is one of a fun little Strange Academy story. It brings in the idea of they call mathemagics or arithmagic, something like that. But it's magic based on mathematical formulas, and there's this guy that wants to get rid of all magic and is using this to kind of get rid of that. And I know the third issue came out, the third in the series came out, because I do remember reading that. It wrapped up, but it's a nice little Strange Academy story. I still wish they'd just make a Strange Academy book again, instead of having all these just little one-shots and limited series. Like, I don't understand why they don't do that. Saga number 66. It's Saga. Again, it's fine. It's kind of like Something is Killing the Children at this point. I don't know if I want to sell my Saga collection and do the same thing for a couple of reasons. One, I do like Saga, or at least I liked Saga at the beginning a lot more than I like Something is Killing the Children. And playing catch up on trades would be a lot more, as far as issue 66 goes. So that would be a good chunk of money that selling that run would go towards. So I'll probably just keep plugging along with Saga. It's doing okay. There was a time when I was like just really like, man, this is not great, but it's better than it was. Noctera number 16. This is the last issue. Finally, this was really dragging its feet towards the end. I think if you read this in trade format, you'd be fine, just so you can knock it out all at once. But I felt that like it got to the end. What would I say? I won't say chapter. The end, the arc. Not even arc, because that means something. The end was really long. It felt like it should have been done a few issues ago, but it just kind of kept going. If it was read all at one time instead of like, a month apart, it probably would have read better, and I might have appreciated it more. But more than anything, I was just glad that it was done. TMNT number 143. I think they changed the art style up in this a little bit, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. It's not bad. It just doesn't feel very TMNT to me. There's something about it. There's just maybe a little too much detail in things that I don't correspond with TMNT. The story continues to be great. I don't know if this was like a guest artist or whatever. And again, the art is good. It's good art. I just don't know if it fits for this title. Wonder Woman number 1. I thought I'd check this out. They had the first few pages of this as a preview in a number of DC books for the last couple months or so. And I read it, and it seemed interesting. So I picked up the number 1, and it was good. I just don't know if I'm ready to pick up a Wonder Woman title. So I might leave this it's King, and King is kind of hit and miss for me. Sometimes, talk about dragging things on. I think King really, really does that. But this is... Amazonians are basically labeled as, not wanted in America, and there's some in hiding because they've built lives and families and all this stuff, and they're coming after them, and, Wonder Woman is like, no, I don't think so, you can't do this. So it was a good story. I would be interested in reading all of it. Just with everything else that I'm reading, I don't know if it pulled me in enough to add it to my pull list. Amazing Spider-Man number 34. So this is continuing. I think we're a few issues into this, so spoilers if you're not caught up. But all of Green Goblin's sins have been injected into Peter, and he's back in black. He's out really hurting people. He is at least one person he legit tried to kill. It's interesting seeing this side of Peter, knowing that it's not really Peter kind of doing these things. He's being manipulated in some way. But a Spider-Man book where Peter is legitimately like the bad guy is kind of interesting. So I've really been enjoying that. Fantastic Four number 12. So continues with its just little like one-shots or 2-issue arcs of just fun stories of them in their downtime waiting for the Baxter Building to come back. Again, I think it's fun. It's issue 12, so that's a year, right? It's supposed to be a year, so soon it should be coming back. And I've really enjoyed it, but at some point, it does have to move on. I think it's been a nice break from all like the really big, grandiose Fantastic Four stories that we usually get. Like, let's just see them on their quote-unquote downtime, and, weird stuff just kind of follows them everywhere. But they've been really, really fun and a lot of times heartwarming stories. So I definitely enjoy that and highly suggest it. But it does seem like it's getting to the point where it's time to go ahead and get out of this, move on to um, back to normal Fantastic Four arcs. Red Goblin #9. So we have the symbiote who has kind of gone rogue. He's bonded with Normie and is tired of seeing Normie made sad. So he's going after everyone that he thinks that makes Normie sad, which includes a lot of people, both alive and dead. So you can tell like the symbiote is very, very young and doesn't understand things, and Normie is trying his best to reel him in, but isn't having a whole lot of success. Batman #138. So this is part 4 of Gotham War. I'm not reading Catwoman, so I'm getting bits and pieces of it. So it's kind of Batman and Damian against all the other Bat family. Apparently, Catwoman made some sort of deal that was like light on crime, like allowing criminals to sort of operate, but non-violently or something. I don't know because I don't read it. But Batman was like, no, you can't do this. You're allowing crime, even if it is kind of overall better. He sees just black and white, right? So he's trying to stop that, and sides have been taken, and all the Bat family except for Damian is against Bruce, and it looks like that Bruce may not be in full control. Zur-En-Arrh is always kind of popping up every now and then. It seems that when they have dialogue, Bruce is in control, but who really knows with that? But it's interesting. I would have liked to been able to get the whole story without having to go by these other issues. I don't like doing that. I rarely do it. I did do it recently with the Ghost Rider Wolverine crossover, because it's just I read that first part of it and it was a really, really good story. This also is interesting. It's too soon for me to want to do that again, I think is the main thing, because I will do it every once in a while, but I don't want to do that again already by books that I don't normally get. The last part of the Solve for X Strange Academy. I don't really have much more to say about it that I didn't already just say with the Moon Knight issue. This one has Spider-Man, and it wraps up nicely. Alien Annual #1. So this was an all-silent issue because it's just talking about things that happened on that ice planet from the last arc. But it's just all aliens and like them sort of taking over, I suppose. I can't really tell if it happens before or after. I think it's before the events of that last arc. It was fine. I do enjoy a good silent issue every now and then, but it's made more difficult in an alien book when all aliens mostly look the same. Whereas you get another silent book that's with like a team of people, there's just more diversity of things to look at to get the context of what's going on and to pull in your interest. But when all the characters are xenomorphs, and there's like some native creatures that show up, but they all look the same as well. It's not as engaging. So it was fine, but for an annual price of $6.99, that's a tough sell. All right, something I pulled off the shelf because I was told that it was really good, and they were right, is the new Transformers. This was incredible. So apparently Robert Kirkman is doing a new set of universes or something. And one is like with the Universal Monsters, which I don't really care about. Another is with Hasbro properties like Transformers and G.I. Joe. I don't really care about G.I. Joe, but I do love Transformers. So I picked this up and read it, not knowing what to expect. It was fantastic. It's from scratch, right? It starts, with finding the Autobots and Decepticons and them waking up and all that. So I guess it's kind of a reboot. Sort of, I don't know if you want to say a reboot, since I don't think Image Skybound had this property before. I can't remember who had it. Maybe they did, but it is a fresh telling of the Transformers story, and it was really, really good. Moon Knight Moon Knight City of the Dead #3. So Moon Knight going to the City of the Dead. It's just a really good Moon Knight story. I think I said it on the last issue with it. It makes sense for this to be a limited series and not take place in the Moon Knight ongoing series. It just has a different tone to it than what's really going on, or the style that the main series has. So this makes sense. But as a limited series, it's also very good. It is a very good Moon Knight story. So if you enjoy Moon Knight, I would suggest getting that. Star Trek 12. This is the finale of Day of Blood. So this is another book where it spread across 2 books, this and Defiant. And I don't get Defiant. So I was getting like every other chapter of this story. And again, it looks like it's a good story. I'm now at a crossroads with this book, because it looks like this is going to be the pattern going forward for Star Trek and Defiant, where they go back and forth between those 2 titles to tell a single story. Because in here it says, starting next month is this next arc featuring Data's brother Lore, and it says like, yep, be back here next month in Star Trek 13 for part 1, and then Defiant number whatever for part 2. So I have to decide, do I want to drop Star Trek, or do I want to keep doing Star Trek and have to pick up Defiant? And it's tough, because I do really like this crew. I think it's really interesting. I like all the characters that they put together from all generations of Star Trek. So it's a real tough choice, and they're leaning heavy into a lot of the Deep Space Nine stuff. Obviously, with this arc, just this entire run of Star Trek has been a lot about Cisco as the emissary and all that. So I've really been enjoying it. The writing's good. The art's good. A story about Lore does sound really intriguing. So I don't know. And let me know in the comments your thoughts or your opinions on what I should do. Because if I get into Defiant, I think I'm gonna want to go back and get all the other issues, because it's not that far into the run. So I just have to figure out what I want to do with that. The Invincible Iron Man #10. Looks like this is a wraparound cover. It is not. Sure looks like it. So, as you can tell, it does look like there is a wedding going on, and there kind of is. So, Tony is kind of playing off that his nemesis, is it Wei Fang, I think, is like, you know what? You beat me. I'm done. Going back to being a playboy. All this stuff. To kind of throw him off the scent, but still he's trying to find a way to take him down, and he's working with Emma Frost, and they get caught in a weird moment and it escalates. I don't know. It's good though. I do enjoy it. Dawn of DC, Green Arrow, or I'm sorry, I was just reading Green Arrow #4. I kind of forgot that I was getting this book. It feels like it's been a long time since one of these came out, but yeah. So Parallax is back, I guess, or some sort of echo of Parallax is back, coming in the form of when he had inhabited Hal Jordan, and is just kind of messed with Ollie a little bit, making him think that, you know, his family is better off without him, and all this stuff. It's hard because I don't remember the first 3 issues quite as much, because I do feel like it's been a long time since Green Arrow came out. The Immortal Thor #2. I really dug the first issue, so I went ahead and added it. There is a very interesting thing with Loki in here that I don't want to give away, but I'm curious to see where it goes. But Thor is, you know, the king of Asgard. He's what they call him, the Thorson. Is that what they call him? Because he's not Odinson, because he's not Odin, but I don't remember. But so far, first 2 issues of this have been absolutely fantastic. So if you are into Thor, I suggest that. And last of all, Spider-Man India #4. Just, again, a great Spider-Verse story featuring Spider-Man India and a version of Reptile. You know, is it Piotr Parker? I don't remember his Spider-Man India's alias, but he's, you know, there's some anti-Spider-Man sentiment around him. He kind of tries to give it up, but of course that doesn't work out. But it's been a good story. I do like a good Spider-Man India story. So that's it. That should catch me up for the last few weeks, and apologies for not having videos out there. It's just been crazy hectic with everything going on. Hopefully I can get back on track now, starting this upcoming week, and get back to it. So that is it. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and of course, don't forget to make yours Titan. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.